I've been having a great time making Aran textured items on this loom, which was custom made for me by Cindywood. This is for bulky yarns. It's a 5/8 inch gauge, meaning 5/8 of an inch from center to center on the pegs. For the technique that I'm using to work, the distance between the pegs side to side and the distance across the boards has to be very close to the same thing. For those of my audience who machine knit, you will recognize that I'm basically using the front board as a main bed, or as we would a main bed on a knitting machine, and the back board as a ribber. I wanted to be able to use the same technique on worsted weight yarn. The 28-inch KB loom has pegs spaced 7/16 of an inch apart from center to center, so it's ideal for the yarn I want to use. And we're going to see if we can adapt it to do the job. There are a couple of things I need to change about the loom for this to work. First of all, the length. I don't like it. It doesn't fit comfortably in my chair. That's the only reason. The Cindywood loom is shorter and fits well in my lap, so we're going to truncate this one as shown. Then trim off a set of pegs so as to have the same distance on each end and still have access to the proper bolt holes. The other thing I need to change is the manner in which the boards are spaced. A set of blocks that can be used in 3 different dimensions are what comes with the board for double knitting. All of them are too large for my purposes. So in order to get the distance widthwise between the pegs and across the boards to be similar, I need to use just this little stack of flat washers. That leaves just enough room for the fabric to drop down between the boards. And spoiler alert, this works actually really well. I'm quite happy with the performance of the board so far. So let me go on to show you exactly how we did it. Jack is measuring so as to position the cut where we trim the end off to the same distance from the last bolt hole as is true on the other end of the board. He's using a hacksaw with 32 teeth per inch. And while there is no reason a lady could not do it, and I'm sure I could have managed, he has more experience, so I'm accepting his help on this. The cuts came out quite nice, but we're cleaning them up to be perfectly smooth with this sandpaper. And now he's using the same saw to remove the end peg so that there is the same distance between the last peg on the end we just trimmed as there is on the other end of the board. And we're using the same sandpaper to smooth the area where we just trimmed the peg off, so there's nothing to snag our work. It was our intention to seal the cut ends with Minwax, but when we tested it, the stirring stick made it clear that that was not a good match. We keep ballast all around for other purposes, and it turned out to seal the ends nicely and be a much better match. This leaves me with 48 pegs on each board and a length that is comfortable. It's about 24 inches. And a spare pair of pieces like this for which I have other plans, so stay tuned. Also stay tuned for a free video pattern on knitting this scarf. Written instructions for the basket weave pattern will also appear on my website, so I will place a link to that in the program notes.